What's happening, Reject Nation? Greg Alba here.
John.
We are going to watch 3 trailers today. In the midst of all the craziness of so many trailers dropping this week, there's a few that we missed out on, and so we figured we'd play catch up right now. And instead of just spreading out a bunch of videos, we're going to do a special 3 trailer edition for you guys. Want to make a couple of disclaimers here. First disclaimer, we know E3 is coming up, and my gaming friends most of them are going to E3, first of all, and the ones that are going to be able to swing by here, are available from Monday through Wednesday. And even though I've gotten back into gaming this year, I would still like from one of my gaming friends to be here per video. I just feel more comfortable that way, because we like to actually provide, good opinions and insight after the reaction is done. Transition to second disclaimer. If you are real fans of this channel, you'll notice that most of the time when we do reactions and reviews, we like to actually take our time with going a little more in depth into the videos, and we like to put a lot of inserts and edits into the review portion. Because this is a catch-up video, yes, there'll be jump cuts like this one, but we're gonna, trim it back on some of the inserts and all that, because we still got some catching up to do for our patron supporters over there for the TV show reactions and everything. We're just trying to handle it all as a 2-man crew right now. But we know there's a lot of requests for these 3 movies, and here are the timestamps if you just want to skip to them. Mortal Engines, First Man, The Old Man and the Gun. These are the 3 movies we're going to talk about right now. And yeah. A little catch-up video for you guys. So yeah, we're going to keep the review portion short on these, like most reaction channels, and we're going to just breeze right through these today. So, seems only fitting for the first trailer to be First Man, Damien Chazelle and Ryan Gosling's newest movie. Let's get to it.
Oh boy.
This is going to be an IMAX movie, I hear. There's the Gosling stare.
Yeah, be an adventure.
First man to walk on the moon. That'd be something.
We've chosen a job so difficult,
So happy to see you.
requiring so many technological developments. We're gonna have to start from scratch.
Kyle Chandler. Wow, this is going to be a crazy IMAX experience.
Only after we master these tasks do we consider trying to land on the moon.
Whoa!
Wow.
Neil, if this flight is successful, you'll go down in history. What kind of thoughts do you have about that?
We're planning on the flight being successful.
Damn, that is a big mother. It'll go up like a half-kiloton A-bomb if it blows.
The vehicle's not safe.
Damn, this
We need to
looks
sail down here so we
terrifying.
don't fail up there.
Whoa!
This isn't just another trip, Neil. You're not just going to work. Do you think you're coming back?
There are risks, but we have every intention of coming back.
Somebody got a Swiss Army knife?
Swiss Army knife? You kidding me?
Here we go.
6, 5, 4,
Jason Clark.
2.
Do you question whether the program's worth the cost in money in and lives?
You're down here and you look up and you don't think about it too much, but space exploration changes your perception. And it allows us to see things that we should have seen a long time ago.
We have serious problems.
Oh my god!
Control.
You're a bunch of boys. You don't have anything under control.
Yeah. Second I barely recognized her. Adam. Do you think he makes it? Do you think he makes it?
And then
I think
he
that ending
finds,
shot was a spoiler.
yeah. No. He just finds, the secret Nazi base, and it's a segue right into Iron Sky. It's perfect.
Yeah. All right, some quick thoughts on this. I am wildly impressed that Damien Chazelle has this master caliber of range. He showed with Whiplash that he can do an intense drama, and then he does this beautiful musical with La La Land, and now he's back to this, which is like a period piece, a true story, supposedly, and it feels like a '60s movie. Like the way it's shot on like some type of film grain that I'm looking at here. It looks like a '60s film. This looks intense. I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting an intense experience. And I heard he shot a lot of this with IMAX cameras, which is like the best way to experience any space movie, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Is shoot it with IMAX cameras. And this looks like a great experience to be on, because I've always heard, we all know, if you're American, Neil Armstrong landing on the moon and all that. But I never really looked into what led to that and the journey to actually be able to get there. Seeing this trailer makes me go, I feel like I should watch this. Even though there's going to be a lot of dramatized stuff here, I feel like this is something I should watch. As an American, I should check this out.
Well, yeah, just highlighting like the risk and the true danger, because there are a lot of space movies that make it feel like an adventure, and this is clearly highlighting what is so intense about the decision to go to space, and probably what the psychological toll is going to be of that. And yeah, just the way that they're shooting this, the intimacy kind of ramps up all the intensity. And for me, one of the things I appreciated most about a film like Interstellar is how amazing some of those IMAX space module sequences are. And I gotta imagine that for a film like this, there's going to be a ton of that kind of imagery,
especially for one that is going to heavily rely on realism. Films like Interstellar and Gravity that made for great space IMAX experiences have a lot of things that people are like, that's pretty illogical, you can't do that.
Yeah, they get science fiction and they get a little fantasy.
We're here, this is a true story, so you gotta stick to as realistic as possible in what you're doing, which I think can make for an arguably more immersive experience if you're gonna do it that level of realism. I guess my last question I have is, everyone who knows me knows I'm a huge Ryan Gosling fan. Ryan Gosling is my favorite actor. I actually did a Patreon Q&A, and one of the questions was, who's my celebrity crush? And the only one that could come to mind was Ryan Gosling. So Ryan Gosling is one of my idols right now, and I'll watch anything he's in. I am a little questionable about the performance, though, only because the trailer did not really give us scenes. What we got here is a lot of tone, spectacle, intensity, and he's playing a real person. So I would like to not see Ryan Gosling when I'm seeing this performance. Granted, I know he's not going to be all in makeup and prosthetics and whatever. And we hear a little bit of him speaking, which sounds like he's doing a bit of an accent, a bit of a voice change. But I'm hoping to see some like mannerism changes, something that embodies Neil Armstrong. Granted, I don't even know what Neil Armstrong looks like, but I want to be there as a viewer thinking I'm watching a dude. That's not Ryan Gosling.
For sure.
But yeah, that was great. That was great. Let's move on to the next one.
Woo!
All right, so next on the list, we're going with The Old Man and the Gun. Mortal Engines, I imagine, is the biggest spectacle of them all, so we'll save that for last. The Old Man and the Gun, Robert Redford, know nothing about it. Fox Searchlight film is about as far as it goes. This is one of our other highly requested ones to check out, so let's do it.
Hey, excuse me. Need some help?
Sissy Space. I think so, yeah.
Let me take a look.
You know anything about cars?
No, not really.
Another period piece.
What did you say you do?
Well, that's a secret.
And why is that?
Well, because if I told you, you probably wouldn't want to see me again.
Who said I was going to see you again?
Would you?
That's a smooth line. He has a hearing aid.
Well, let's take this place. Say it was a bank, and instead of that counter up there, that was really a teller's window, and you just walk in, real calm. So you walk right up, look her in the eye, and you say, ma'am, this is a robbery. And you show her the gun like this, and you say, I wouldn't want you to get hurt, because I like you. I like you a lot. So don't go breaking my heart now, okay? Excuse me, I'd like to open up an account.
Well, great. What type of account do you have in mind?
This kind. This kind.
You said he was armed.
He had a gun.
You saw it.
Well, he was also sort of a gentleman.
He was very polite.
He seemed like a nice enough fellow.
Look at that. Is he smiling?
He's smart. Danny Glover.
3 robberies in 2 years.
You think you can catch him?
Yeah, I won't lie. I'd love to slap the cuffs on him myself. So I hope I get the chance.
Another city, baby. Another town.
Spent his whole life locked up, except for the times that he broke out.
Somebody should have told him to quit while he was in.
Well, you find something you love.
Wow.
Where I'm supposed to be.
You're never exactly where you're supposed to be, are you? Now, whenever I close the door, I think, is this the last time I'll ever have a chance to do whatever that thing was?
You know what I do when the door closes? I jump out the window.
Living is a gamble, baby. Loving's much the same.
Danny Glover's never even been nominated?
That's
I sat down with him once and I said, surely there's an easier way to make a living. And he looked at me and he said, I'm not talking about making a living. I'm just talking about living.
Perfect. Perfect.
That's the movie right there.
That's great. That looks fantastic, man.
I mean, if you ever needed a reminder of just how charming Robert Redford and Sissy Spacek can be.
Yeah. This reminds me of like when Robert Redford did like those Paul Newman collab flicks. Butch Cassidy and the Sting.
Yeah.
You know, like dudes who are outlaws or do criminal activity, steal. You know,
really charming
they're
too.
very charming guys.
You kind of want to get to know them.
And this is a period piece. I find the advertising interesting because we just watched American Animals that we're planning on squeezing in a movie review for. That was another one that was like a heist movie based on a true story, but it had like kind of similar text advertising. This story is not true. Well, it is true. And this one has an advertising. It's mostly true, you know?
Yeah.
When I see a trailer like this, I'm wondering like how much of this is true. Beyond that, though, I honestly could care less when I watch a movie of knowing what's true and what's not true. Like I'll look that up after if I'm engaged enough in the story. This looks like a really surprisingly like a delightful experience.
Yeah, it's like the most heartwarming robbery film.
When then it's setting up, I kept thinking like, oh, it's about to get crazy, isn't it? It's about to get intense. This guy's actually a crazy criminal robber. And then as it progresses, you're like, everyone just thinks this guy's a really nice old dude, and no one's actually even seen the gun.
Yeah, exactly. But still, Casey Affleck has to catch him.
It seems like back then it was much easier to rob banks than it would be now.
Oh yeah.
As time progresses, it gets harder and harder to rob a bank. Trust me, this guy knows. Just the overall cast, you know, Robert Redford, Sissy Spacek, Danny Glover, Casey Affleck, who I hear is a great guy.
Yeah, his reputation is top notch.
Top notch. Those Affleck brothers
killing the game.
Keep getting it up there
in terms of public opinion. They even got Tom Waits in here, looking like Ron Perlman with a mustache.
What I find fascinating about the movie First Man and then looking at this, I appreciate when films that are period pieces go out of their way more than just production design, but also in camera quality to look more along the lines of the period that the film actually came out in.
Choosing like an actual old film stock or something like that.
Yeah, and it provides that much more authenticity to make it feel like an older film too. It's kind of funny that we watch these trailers back to back and you get kind of this experience.
Now we're about to head into a very modern digital one.
Let's Peter Jackson this baby up. All right, guys, Mortal Engines. This is the most requested one so far. And if you made it this far, giving you a heads up, we did shoot Bad Times at El Royale on a separate video that'll be going up later. Here we go, Mortal Engines. Only one to have a trailer for a trailer.
What is that? That is London.
60 minutes is all it took to bring humanity to the very brink of extinction. Mankind mobilized. A new age arose.
Go weaving.
The age of the great predator cities. Survival of the fastest.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Hey, watch out! Valentine. This is for my mother. Stop her! Ask him why he murdered my mother.
I'm sorry you had to hear that.
Hugo Weaving, a bad guy.
She won't stop until I'm dead.
Unless you kill her first.
I want them found.
A lot of December movies.
Yeah.
Badass.
Get on!
I've been looking for you for a long time. Your mother, she said she had found something dangerous. She was afraid of Valentine. of what he might do.
The man who controls this controls the world.
She said that you could stop him.
This weapon can wipe out the largest city in the blink of an eye.
Not if we shut it down.
Nothing can stand in the face of this.
We have to stop London before it destroys us. You sure you want to do this? Once we go in, there's no going back.
I have to.
Okay.
People who wrote this worked on the script for Lord of the Rings too. Oh, Peter Jackson did not direct this.
No. In fact, somebody commented that earlier, I think. It's got his stamp of approval, most certainly, and it has some of that Peter Jackson epic scope. It's a chip off the old block. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this trailer. I feel like this has, like, a lot of
I don't really like it.
I don't either. It's like it's got a lot of really cool designs and like a really cool world and all that, but all of the like story beats I'm picking up and like most of the dialogue is like completely stock.
I know this is based on a book. I don't know if it's like a YA novel or whatever. Bottom line, it feels like that. It feels like a YA novel. This is arguably the one I think I could spend the most time ripping apart. But
well, yeah.
Maybe it's the idea too that we watched 2 trailers that were about story and character so heavily, and the emotional experience here. You know, this is your big Universal Pictures landscape and crazy visual movie. Of course that succeeds. That definitely succeeds in terms of like, those are some pretty badass designs. As much as like some of this might be arguably cooler if you did a little more practical stuff, I imagine it'd be very impossible to do some of that. Yeah.
A lot of miniatures and size cheating.
It would take a long time. And it costs a lot more money. I get that. I don't know why. I just get the impression that's kind of an empty film.
Well, yeah, because again, all the notes of story or motivation.
I could hear us upsetting people right now.
Yeah, but I'm like, I've heard this sort of whichever man has this controls the world, and with a blink of an eye, this could wipe out an entire city. And I'm like, these are the stakes for like every blockbuster.
I found myself in this situation halfway through going, what do I like about this trailer specifically other than cool visuals? It's like maybe the action scenes will be cool. Honestly, and sometimes that suffices. Sometimes it does. Sometimes that's like good enough and I walk out and I kind of forget about it, you know?
But this movie doesn't look like it's going to be short enough for that. This movie looks like it's going to be like 2.5 hours long.
It looks like it's going to be quite a journey. And the only thing I kind of liked a little more about it as compared to trailers or movies that I've seen that are like this, you get more emphasis on who the villain is. And it seems like they're putting good focus on that, whereas a lot of the time, the villain here is usually kind of just pushed in the background, even if they slap a celebrity face on him. Here, I felt like Hugo Weaving was kind of leading this trailer, which is cool, but then I'm also like, this looks like generic Hugo Weaving. I've seen him do Agent Smith and Red Skull. This is like the exact same kind of performance.
Yeah, it's like I'm only excited by his presence because I like Hugo Weaving. You know, it
kind of
doesn't look that special. And hey, who knows? I mean, maybe these could be just all like stock trailer lines and maybe the whole movie is going to be a lot more intricate than this.
Yeah.
But just everything they throw out here, it feels very familiar.
It feels
it's
like cliche.
This is for my mother, and you know, this reluctant boy is going to help out this badass chick, and then they're going to have to go up against Hugo Weaving.
Performances look like bland. They look like bland performances.
Yeah.
And it's funny, as I'm sure these actors are actually great. It's just when you're dealing with a movie like on this scale, it can be hard to get performances that are grand out of a movie like this. So
if they're not going to give them a lot to work with.
I'm talking about like the performances in the context of the trailer, of course. I'm not exactly 100% sure if the performances will actually suck. It's just right here it looks a little bit bland. The movie itself is not offering anything all that unique other than a different world and some different designs that look like crazier CGI Fury Road inspired.
Yeah, you just take Mad Max and crash it into the dirigible from The Mummy Returns. And
I honestly like the teaser trailer for this.
I did too.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
The teaser was like tense and looked like a horror movie.
Until I started talking, man.
And now this looks like a young adult movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
And most of them are not good, all right? They all can't be the Hunger Games.
Hey, the fifth wave, all right?
Yeah, let's not forget. All right, guys, voting time. Go to the comments and tell us which trailer was your absolute favorite. I know a lot of you guys want Immortal Engines. Sorry to let you down that we didn't like it, but we liked the other two. We really liked the other two.
We did.
And sometimes you don't like a trailer. That's just the way it goes.
2 dramas is worth 1 blockbuster.
Yeah. Well, you can subscribe to the Reject Nation. Click that notification bell. Check us out on Patreon. Full-length TV show reactions, weekly Q&As. We'd love to have you become a Patroniject today.